How's it going, everybody? We're here back at this house where last we installed this brand new Hayward Swim Clear 150 square foot filter, and we got the approval. We're going to be taking out the older version of the Haywards AquaRite salt generator, removing the new cell, taking out the cell, and we're going to be installing Hayward's brand new AquaRite S3. This is not the Omni version. They put it there. This is the regular 40,000 gallon S3. I think they got one brand for everything. We're installing the S3 right now. We're going to be doing the unboxing. But first off, we're going to be tearing this all apart over here, disassembling the unit, taking out the electrical, and removing the box off the wall. Stay tuned. unboxing the new S3 40,000 gallon salt system. Right here, this is gotta be our cell. And right here is our unit. Alright, now that we got the unit mounted on the wall, now it's time to open up the front display cover. I'll get that. There's one more screw right there. Of the new S3. So this is our main controller right here. This is our transformer. This is where our electrical wire is going to be coming in down here on the bottom. And with this unit, if you were to purchase just the salt system, they have and they sell a kit that you can convert it into the Omni, and the display board and the kit for the Omni goes up here in the left hand corner. So this unit is expandable. In the future, if you wanted to get the full automated version, you can expand it, and they do sell a kit to convert this into the full Omni. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put our electrical in here. We're gonna do all the electrical wiring for the unit, and we'll get that done right now. All right, so after reading the instructions, and I'll just show you right here, there's gonna be a main connector, which is this connector right here that's already plugged into the board, and these wires come on through here to the high voltage side of the unit. Depending on your incoming voltage from your time clock, or if you're going to be doing the VSP setup, if you have a variable speed pump, this is where the high voltage is going to come into. So if you're on 115 voltage setup, as per the book, the black line is going to be used for your hot, and then the gray is going to be for your neutral. So line 1 and gray for the neutral. If you're on a 230 volt setup, then your black line is going to be line 1 and your gray will be line 2. So depending on your setup, there's no need to make any changes. Just go ahead and plug it in here. I've already opened up the unit here, and I'm going to be checking to see which is my line and which is my line 1 and which is my line 2. I like to keep the lines where they're dedicated, line 1, line 2, and plug them in the same way instead of having them cross. Even though it goes both ways, I like to keep both line 1 on line 1 and line 2 on line 2, coming from my timer going to this unit here. So also inside the unit, you're gonna find that you have this accessories bag, and inside of here you have some these green connectors, and you have some electrical plug outs, and they gave you some wiring nuts, and also there is some of this weather stripping in case if you ever need to do more weather stripping. Pretty nice accessories bag. We're going to go ahead and open this up, take our wiring nuts out of here, and remove all of the green connectors. And then I believe, let's see if they haven't gotten that far yet, but there is also a fuse in here. If you can tell, there's a fuse right there. Got to figure out if I need this fuse somewhere on this board somewhere, but when I get to that part, I'll let you know. I wanted to show you guys why it's important. Number one, especially when you're installing a new unit, not to trust the wiring and where the wiring is at. The wiring from this salt system should be wired into the load side of the timer here. So the load side is, and I'm going to show you this guide for reference purposes, is a guard to protect the electrical so that nobody gets themselves shocked. But nevertheless, it shows you line 1, which goes here, line 1, load 2, line 2, line 3, and load 4. So basically line 1 and line 3, that's coming from the main circuit breaker feeding into this timer, and load 2 and load 4 is feeding the electronics component going forward, like your pool pump and or your salt system. So if we follow our cable back coming into the junction box, we have our red lead, and our black lead. So we have one of our legs is on the load side, the first terminal, and then the other one is on the line side. Yeah, so we're receiving power, but when the unit shuts off, this is in the wrong place. So I need to move over one of these lines, which I'm going to use my red one, and I'm going to connect it onto my load side. So whenever this unit shuts off, it's going to completely kill power, because in this way, this unit is receiving 115 amps coming from this black leg, which is, actually it's coming from this leg as it's powered on right now, because this is power all the time. Your line 1 and line 3 are power all the time. There's always power present there. So there's always power coming into the unit, and that should not be the case. Whenever this timer shuts off, it should correctly be wired to load 2 and load 4, which those are the terminals that are feeding power when this timer is engaged on the on position. Even when it's in the off position, because of this line being on line 3, which is hot all the time, the unit will be receiving 115 volts all the time. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to correct this right now, moving this wire over to our load side, and then we're going to wire the black line 1 to the black here, and the red, which is going to be over here on the load 4, is going to go into our line 2, which is our gray one here. Okay, so next thing, once you open up your cell box, inside the cell box you're going to come with your new turbo cell. This is the newer style cell. That really cool thing about this style cell, Hayward really thought about it, because pretty soon the regular turbo cells that look just like that one, eventually, probably within the next 2 to 4 years, let's say, I've heard from a couple of the reps that Hayward eventually is going to be doing away with those style cells, and then we're going to be going to these cells, because ultimately this is the newer system that they're going to be, that they are coming out, that they already came out with, and they're going to be pushing this style salt system. But the real cool thing is that even if you had the older style AquaRite and your unit is still working and you need to get a new cell, I would highly recommend to start going with this cell. Cool thing is this cell can be adapted to the older systems. They have the same plug connector, and they still work with the original unions. So they really made that a point to start to use these newer cells even on the older units. So if you have a standalone unit like the AquaRite, this one, or if you have an automation system like a ProLogic, an AquaLogic, or an Omni that has the salt system built in, you can go with this newer style cell and it will work. So we're going to go ahead now and get our flow switch. We're going to remove it off of this T. We're going to install it onto that T and carry the cabling up right up under there. One thing that I did want to mention, reading the manual, your power plug for your cell is going to go in here. Right up underneath here is where your flow switch is going to go. And then on this side, this opening right here is where all your low voltage communication wires are going to go into. This area here is for when you're doing like a heater or your actuator valves, anything that's low voltage communication wires, they are going to go through this slot right here. So power plug for the salt cell, flow switch, low voltage communication or low voltage wiring over here, and this is your high voltage coming in here. Pretty cool unit, pretty cool setup. Let's get it going. All right, so we got the unit all completely connected. New cell, new flow switch, all the electrical tied up very nice and neat. We'll open it up and show the inside. And there she is. So over here on the low communication wire, there's this a piece of rubber. It's folded. You got to fit that in there, and looks, all the cable is going there, but it also gives a nice seal for nothing, no critters to crawl up in there and get up into your electronics. So I just want to go a brief overview on the way that this unit is. To get into the mode, you go ahead and press OK, and we're going to first go into our system setups. We'll press OK, and we'll start with the language. You can select whatever language you choose and you prefer. I'm going to select English. Here in time is where you adjust the time, the 24-hour format. To scroll down, you press the up and down arrow to get inside. You press plus, and that's where you change it. And to go to the next mode, you press over. That's how you toggle through the different modes of the hour, the minutes, and the seconds. And then you press OK. Once that's done, go down. DST, that's daylight savings time, we turns our on. So at daylight savings time, it's going to go ahead and automatically register. So go ahead and press OK. Come down to the display. Press OK to get in. We got the brightness screen at 100%. And our sleep mode, inside of the manual, this is, you can select it always on. And when the unit's not being used, the screen is going to go into sleep mode. And whenever you need to use it, you press one of the keys and it's going to go ahead and wake back up. So we're going to leave it in the always on mode. Contrast is normal. Unit temperatures, here in the United States, we work with Fahrenheit. If you're in a different country, you can select Celsius. And the salinity units, we use parts per million here. So that's all good, and that's it. So we'll go ahead and we'll press OK. System info is just the display revision, and the main board is the revision on the board. Okay, this unit, whenever they do any type of upgrades or enhancements as far as their revision is concerned, that could be done on their site. There's a USB port on the main board, and you can download the new revision to a USB, plug it in here, and upload the new revision for your board here. So we're going to go ahead and back out of here. Service settings. Here is edit configurations. This is where a lot of your configurations is going to be at. And here's where you're going to change your cell type if you ever needed to change your cell. If you wanted, like let's say if you started with the 15,000 gallon one and you went up to the 25,000 gallon one, or if you started with the 25,000 gallon one and moved up to the 40,000 gallon one, here's where you're going to go ahead and select that. So you go ahead and come in here. By default, it is selected at the T-Cell S315. So we're working with the T-Cell S340, which is the 40,000 gallon unit. So we went down just by selecting the different one, and whichever one you have, you go ahead and press select. So we have ours at the T-Cell 34. Make sure that this is compatible. You're letting the system know what type of cell you're working with. So we have the S340. So system configurations. Here, control, master. So if you're not running with any type of remote controls, you're gonna leave it on master. If you are working remote controls, and here is where you're gonna change it. See, to remote and to master. So we leave it on master. So master is, this is the master control. If you're working with a heating unit, you can also heat your pool with this unit once you get up to the Omni level. So you can also heat your unit. Here is where you press OK. You would toggle plus or to enable it, or minus back to disable it. The body of water, if you're working with a pool only, a spa only, pool only, spa only. So we'll leave it in pool. Air temperature is disabled. We do not have an air temperature on this unit, so it's disabled. And then the low salt readings, I think that I don't think I saw this inside of the booklet, but low salt readings is, I guess, whenever the salt readings get down, and this is something that I selected. Your plus or minus it was at 0. I selected at 2,500, so whenever the salt readings get down to 2,500, the unit should, from what I understand, it's going to show low salt. Scroll down, very low salt. I set mine at 2,000. Again, you can set yours for whatever setting you want, but I just picked 2000. I just basically picked the number. Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong within what these settings really are. This is a brand new unit for me. I didn't see this as these selections of what to put in there as far as inside the manual, but this is what I put. And the reason why I put 2500 is because as per Hayward, the salt readings, the minimum, the ideal level is between 2700 and 3400. So that's why I said to start throwing the low salt once you reach 2500, very low salt at 2000. That's why I selected that. And we'll back out. And then devices or any other devices that you may have, it'll search for any devices. None are found because this is just a mere salt system by itself. Okay, then you can do your factory resets, reset the cell or service mode. Let's go into service mode, see what that is. In your chlorination, see what that is. Here is basically showing you what the chlorination is. We probably already reached the cell production time. That's why everything is showing that. So we'll go ahead and we'll back out. Sensors, any sensors that you have, see all of them are open because we have no sensors except our flow switch is on right there. Okay, relays, and that's if you have any relays for your heating and stuff like that, any other relays that your unit's working. But again, this setting is probably for when you have the Omni version or the upgraded. And then here is where you get the firmware updates. If there's any firmware updates, this is where you will go to select that and more likely plug in your USB once you download the new firmware update, and then the unit will take it from there. So that's that, and that's about it. So we have our language, time, display, system info, server settings. That's that. Chlorination. You got to select enabled. Because from factory comes disabled. Then you have, again, to enable it, you press your plus or your minus. Okay, then the level is what you set from the beginning. You don't have to go in here to move it, because from the main screen you're going to be able to see it there and move up and down from the main screen. We're just inside the diagnostics menu of the program. Super chlorination, if you need to super chlorinate your pool, you will have to come into the program and into chlorination to go ahead and turn that on, let's say if you need to, but we don't need to at this moment. Go into diagnostics on the chlorination, go ahead and press the OK button, and this is what it's telling us everything. We got 3,400 parts per million of salt. I think it says the average salt is 3,300. Current cell amps is 2.9697 amps. We got the S340 cell type. It's on the relay PO L2, and then our voltage is 18.9697. So that's that. That's giving you that our cell is receiving the right amount of voltages and amperages there. And that's it for that. And if you have a pool cover, yes, this also can do a pool cover, but we have ours disabled. So this unit is very comprehensive. This is the main screen right here, showing us our average 3,300. This is what you will see every day. You got your time up here, you have your temperature and the production, the chlorination percentage here. So you go up or down, whatever you need, and then press OK. Wants you to save that figure there. So this is an overview of the brand new Haywards S3 AquaRite salt system installation. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial installation. Put your comments down below. Like and subscribe to our page. We've done a lot of work for this customer. Haywards S Swim Clear C150S new salt system, all installations. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. Put your comments down below, like and subscribe to our page, and stay tuned for some more. Have a great day.